Alright guys, a little break in the shed hunting action, but we're still talking sheds. I've got my keeper pile out here in the backyard. A lot of you guys mentioned on Instagram that you'd like to see some of the antlers that have made it throughout the years, kind of what justifies being a keeper, and walk you through some of those. So I've got them all laid out. We've got 70 elk antlers and 70 moose antlers out right now, a bunch of miscellaneous deer, and there is a few missing. There's probably like 5 to 10 between moose and elk that are missing from the pile that I have at my other place. But right here we've got 70 moose and elk. We're gonna break them down, show you some of my favorites, some of the cool ones that stick out to me. But this is my keeper pile right now from the last 10 years of shed hunting roughly. Started when I was 18, 17 years old, and now here I am at 29. Got to sell a lot of antlers just because they clearly take up a lot of space, but I like to keep the ones I can. Before I jump all the way in, I want to remind you guys we have a giant giveaway going on between me and Black Flag. We have an exclusive Chag hat and shirt, and when you shop the Black Flag website and shop the Chag bundle, which is your flavor of the Black Flag Revenge and whatever hat or shirt you want to pick up, that's going to get you entered in to win over $6,000 in gear that I use. So my partners all chipped in. We've got SIG binos, Vooney gear, all in, sheep feet, DRT hunting lounger, and of course my Baku Storm e-bike. All of that is going to one guy, so over $6,000 in gear. All you have to do is shop the Chag bundle at the Black Flag website, and that's going to get you your entries. So go do that as soon as you get done watching this video. So let's first talk about what justifies a keeper to me. Usually for me, that's going to be a bull that's in that like 340, 345 plus range in score. So like this bull here, this is a 340 bull. Also, another thing that I'm going to go off of is like sentimental. Like, was there a cool story to it? Did I pick it up with my dad? A few of these are just like okay bulls, but I picked them up with my dad, or they've been bulls that kind of started my journey with shed hunting. So like just a small 6-point, but maybe it's my first set. So there's a few different ways that an antler can make its way into my keeper pile, but usually score-wise, I'm going 340 or better. Just seems like nowadays it's hard to find a bull that big. There's not a lot of good units around my house, so I had to travel to get to them, and so if I find a 340 bull, I'm pretty pumped. This particular bull, that's his set right there. So I thought that was pretty neat that I was able to match him up, having been broken right at the top of the G2. So that whole antler is missing, broken off from fighting, but he's got a lot of character to him. The bases here are really neat. They've got like that, gosh, like a melted Ripley look to them. Old bull, good solid heavy dense antler from the thirds down, but he found his way into the keeper pile just because of his character, and I kind of liked how he had a broken side. I couldn't believe that I was able to match it up. One thing that's kind of funny is my dad always jokes with me, but I've kind of got like an autistic gene, I guess you could say, or trait for antlers, and I could tell you where every single antler was found, what we were doing, what the story is behind it, as soon as you pull it out. I don't even have to think about it. With the moose antlers, when they get real small, it gets a little tougher, but with some thinking, I could even do it then. But with the elk antlers especially, so I thought that'd be kind of fun to just do like a turbo round, give you like a quick overview of each one. I'm sure a lot of you guys are that way with your antlers too. If you're into shed hunting, it seems like we all kind of have the same minds and mindset. So I'm gonna do a turbo round here. Dad found this set side by side under a tree. Triple brow bull from recent trip with Connor. This bull's browns from this year. Didn't grow the triple brow, but same trip, found both sides. Another triple brow bull that I found 1 year off of when he was brown, and then another year hard white. That's his match, but just took me a year to find that set. Beautiful brown side by side set a few years ago. Another really pretty 6-point. This is a hard white, laid on the ground for a year. Beautiful Utah bull off of what we call the Wasatch unit. Giant bull off the San Juan years and years ago. One of my first and biggest sets I've picked up, and he's in the 360s if he was not broken. Another big bull, 340s bull, giant mass here, as you can see, globby as can be. Picked him up with my dad in Utah. Another big Utah bull that I picked up a few years ago, brown bull. 2 years off the same bull. This bull actually, I was going to pick him up for a third year, but he died in the rough winter. Miscellaneous 6 points. We got the rope bull. I called him Lucky 7. Ended up picking up 3 years off of him. There's 1, 2, and 3. random brown in the back, another brown. Then I've got 2 years off this bull here, and then a single. So 1 year, bought that one off of a old buddy of mine that had a single off of him. Then boom, boom, 2 sets. First set that I ever found of elk sheds, first brown set right there. Dad found that set right there, the lake bull. And they called this bull Loner. Have a set and a year off of him. Found one of his sides next to another right side, so 2 right sides together. They must have been batting horns and then dropped together. Called this bull Whale Tail. One of my first big browns that I picked up. He's like a 320 bull, but one of the first ones I picked up, jumped him, heard his antler fall off, and walked over and found it right in his tracks. So, got to start things off with the set that started it all off, right? This is my first brown set of elk sheds. Found them on my home mountains here in Utah that I hunt, just OTC unit. A little bull in the 200s, mid 200s for his score. But just a pretty young bull. Was way pumped to find him. It actually led us to a spot we called Honey Hole, and we pulled probably 50 antlers out of this pocket and cleaned it up to the point where now there's not even bulls there because the unit has gone downhill. But if there is a bull that sheds there, there's maybe one a year. So once we picked it up, it kind of went downhill, and I don't even hit it anymore. But nice white bases, pretty chocolate brown 6 points. So got to keep those. Could never sell them. So we'll go from that to my biggest shed. I was with my dad when we picked this beast up. Like I was saying, 160-inch single. So with a 40-inch spread and doubled, he's a 400-inch bull on the dot. Maybe he had a little bit bigger fronts. There have been a few years picked up off of him. This bull's long gone and dead by now. This was 10 years ago, I think, when I picked these up, maybe 11 years ago. But just a beast. Here he is next to my first set of brown antlers. You can see the difference in mass and weight. We're talking a 15 to 18 pound antler here and a 4 pound antler here. The difference in good and great right there, or mega. Next up is this beautiful 6 point. He's just nothing like insane about him, just a beautiful mid 350s 6 pointer. Giant fronts, beautiful look to him. I love the palmation right there on the beam and the 3rd point. Way sweet bull. Back end on this side's pretty cool. It's got a little skinny hook beam. Great fronts, 1st, 2nds, and 3rds. Tons of palmation and just a really pretty bull. I love the coloring, everything about him. I found a lot of bulls in that 350s range, and it seems like 365 is about where I top out, and I can't break that. If I find something bigger than 365, it's usually a single. But for sets, I found a bunch in the mid 350s to 360s, and this is one of them. Love this bull. Now into moose sheds, which arguably are my favorite. They're just unique and hard to find, and they don't get big too often. So this is one of my best sets. I have probably 2 that are in that same caliber range. One that's a lot heavier than this, but it's at my other place right now, so I do not have it with me. But this is one of my best sets from a long time ago. Picked him up with tracker in the snow, and that was a fun day. Kind of what really kicked in the addiction was those first few years of moose shed hunting. Summer to winter range, everywhere in between, and it's definitely my biggest set to date. Here he is. Whoa. It's a big bull. So pumped that I was able to get him. All right, what's cool about this bull is he is old. How you can tell is giant, big bases. That's a characteristic, and flat. So the white part right there of the pedicle is going to be flat or even sunk in. A younger bull is going to pop out a little bit more. So this was a really old bull. I don't even think he's alive anymore, but these were fresh. One day on the ground and we picked him up. We knew this bull was up here. I'd picked up his sheds the year before, and that is the set that I don't have here with me, one of my bigger sets. And so I knew he was in there. Well, we go up for a hike and bump into two ladies, old ladies coming down the trail, say hi to them, don't think anything of it. 100 yards past the old ladies, maybe 200 yards, we jump a shed bull moose off of the trail. And so we're like, that's weird. Well, 20 yards past that bull, my dad spots this antler as we're walking just off the trail, laying in the dirt. So picked it up, not really thinking much of it because it doesn't look like his year before. Thinking it might be him, but it's not really crossing our mind yet. I hit the trail and I'm walking the trail back a little higher than we walked. This is laying right in the foot trail. So those old ladies must have turned around right before, or maybe because of the moose, they turned around and came down. If they'd have walked a little further, they'd have walked right into this antler. So being first up the trail that day paid off, and we got this set. And at that point, I was able to tell, yes, it is the big bull that I picked up the year before. So that made 2 years of sheds off this bull in the same area. He shed within maybe half a mile of where I found his set the year before. So if you guys are still watching at this point, you're probably as obsessed with sheds as I am, or you're at least interested in them. I just want to remind y'all, I do have a moose and an elk shed ebook that you guys can download, and it's going to help get you in the right place. I've had them out for a couple years now and helped a lot of guys have some success, especially with the moose, but elk too. I go over elevation, tips, strategies, everything I've picked up over the last 10 years to have a successful pile like this. I put in those ebooks to help you guys out. So download those if you haven't. If you want to check them out, have a read, and maybe pick up on a few things to have a successful shed hunt. We're still in the middle of shed season, so great time to download and maybe go out with a bang the rest of the year. Over here I've got a pile of Axis deer sheds from Maui when we went on the All-In trip, which we're going to go do again this year, so had to bring some of those home for the dogs. I've got some whitetail sheds from North and South Dakota from a few years back. That was pretty cool. The deer, again, they're just not worth selling, so sometimes I keep them. Sometimes they turn into dog chews, but here is a badass antler. My dad found this one, so I can't take claim to this, but Dad found him. That is a 215-inch mule deer if he is doubled. Really big antler right there. This is a nice cheater buck, young buck that I found. And this set, which is pretty cool, he's a 3-point mainframe. A little bit of a 4 on that side, but he's got a cheater. I've got 2 years off of him. All of these antlers right here came off the exact same ridge, so that ridge used to be killer. I'm sure it's still good. I haven't hit it for a couple years, but yeah, pretty sweet, all off the same ridge. So first thing I do want to say is don't forget, if you shop my website and pick up any of my hats right now, you're going to get entered in to win a prime bow. That's only going to be going through the month of April, so if you're watching it now, shop my website, you're getting entered in to win a prime bow. The other giveaway is the shed giveaway through Black Flag, where we're giving away over $6 grand in gear that I use, brand new gear, plus my Baku e-bike. All you have to do is shop the Black Flag website and get something from the Chag bundle to get your entries there. So a few different things. Appreciate your support on any of those. It means a lot. Helps the dream come true and keep going. So we'll catch you on the next video. Hope you're having a great spring.